Thank you for tuning in again to the Pink Lifestyle Show. I am your host, Karen Bannister, and I'm pretty excited to introduce you to this episode's guest, and I'm sure this conversation is going to be fantastic. Stephanie Heller is a certified business and life coach and founder of the Profit Lounge, where she helps service-based entrepreneurs reconfigure and jumpstart their businesses without losing sleep and gaining their creative drive. She has a way of zeroing in on your bullshit, showing you how you're creating it, and then pulling a plan together on how to change it. She does this daily for business owners to stop overthinking and make simple decisions so they can add revenue, experience possibility, and feel better quickly. And don't we all want that? She previously owned an in-home personal chef service and grew that company to mid-six figures with 8 chefs and cooking for entire baseball teams. And don't think I don't want to hear more about that. Mm-hmm. With a BA in psychology from Boston University, she's always been obsessed with understanding why people do what they do and what is stopping them from getting what they want. She's an advocate and power partner to her clients and teaches brain and thought management tools that have a 100% ROI so they can accomplish anything. My gosh, welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Pink Lifestyle Show.
Thank you. I'm so excited, and what an honor to be here with you.
Wow. So I'm just looking forward really to diving in with you and learning all about you and your business. So I would like to invite you to first share, like I do with everybody, your personal and your professional journeys. And I definitely want to hear more about how you became a personal chef. It's very intriguing to me. And then, how and why you pivoted and started the Profit Lounge. It just sounds like an amazing journey for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so lucky to have had what I call an early midlife career change. And I think we can all do so many different things in our lives. And this is a perfect example. So I did what everyone else does. And I graduated high school and went to college and worked in an office in Manhattan for many years. I was never happy, no matter how much money I made or what I was doing. I was always looking for something more creative and to be engaged in life. I was kind of like a space cadet zoning out all the time. So I picked up myself and moved from New York City to Scottsdale, Arizona, which
that's a big change.
Yeah. And I call myself, I was a city girl. No, I'm a country girl caught in a city girl's life. Like I would always live in big cities. I went to Boston University and I lived in Tel Aviv, like all these big cities. And I always really wanted to live in the country. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a big change. Well, good for you for doing that then. That's pretty brave. That's a big change.
It is. I love it here. We had visited here a lot as a vacation place. And I was like, I'm going to live a vacation all the time. I'm going to move out here. So I got out here and I started interviewing for office jobs, and that same dread would just follow me everywhere. I had no idea about, your thoughts and what they do, nothing. And I was like, I was watching Top Chef. It was very popular at that time. And I was like, I can do that. And I signed up for Le Cordon Bleu, Scottsdale Culinary Institute. And the reason why I picked that place is because I saw the diploma on the wall when we did the walkthrough. And I was like, I want one of those. So
wow.
Took out a loan, went to do that program, and I was 30 and everyone was almost half my age. They were 18-year-old boys. It felt like it was like the military, but I was like, there was a couple of women, but it was definitely a shock to be back in like high school again and have to be very regimented, almost like basic training, but also be creative and be an adult and show up every day. So culinary school is a whole topic on its own, but it was awesome. I actually learned how to cook. I did not come from a cooking family, which a lot of people do. And I always knew I wanted to be a personal chef and not work in restaurants or be an executive chef or own a restaurant. I was always going to open a personal chef business, and nobody in my class wanted to do that. It was only me. And within 3 years, I was the only one still working. Everybody else had gone to do something else.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I don't know if you know about food industry, but it is grueling.
I've heard I've never personally worked in the food. Well, I did fast food when I was younger, but and anything other than that, no, I haven't. But I have friends. I mean, I know people that have.
Right.
Yeah, it is cutthroat. It is tough. So kudos to you for branching out on your own and knowing what you wanted.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty. So, okay, so you didn't come from a cooking family, but you still know you wanted to be a personal chef.
I did.
Where did that come from?
Yeah. I was thinking these are the three or four things I'm looking for in a career. One, it had to be portable, meaning I could move and still do it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I wanted no income, no ceiling on my income. I didn't want to wait till somebody handed me a paycheck. I didn't want to get to the top of my game and there's nothing else to do. So that's what I was looking for. I wanted to use my hands and be creative every day. And that fit the bill. So
Right.
I was like, I'm going to just do this. And I honestly didn't know how to cook until culinary school. And then when I worked in a restaurant for a little while, then you really learn how to cook. And then when you're in people's homes, you really learn how to do it. So I took a course on how to start my own personal chef business.
Oh, okay.
They have that.
Nice.
I was off and running. And the first, 3 to 6 months, I would cook for my mom, my grandmother. I would just go to anybody I knew to get practice while you're, getting out there. And I would say 6 to 9 months in, I got my first 3 clients, and one of them was a basketball player for the Suns. And I was like, now I'm off. Like I knew something had finally clicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that whole journey started. And I owned a Ripe Personal Chef for 11 years. And I think in the second year, the phone would just keep ringing so much that I had no days left because we only cooked in the home, no delivery. And I hired somebody, and that was my first employee. And then we just kept growing from there.
Oh my gosh, how exciting. So you did that for 11 years and it was growing and it was thriving, it was doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
So I would say around year 7 and 8, I was like, I want to do something else. And I had a full-time manager at that point. So I became like a real owner, which is actually weird when you're used to doing everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I started doing business coaching for other chefs how to start their business. Like just something I knew.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started doing that virtually full time. I still managed the business as an owner, but someone else did the day to day. And I created an online course for the chefs. We had a small group coaching, and then I did private coaching. And I was taking coaching programs and getting way more into personal development and kind of what is even going on in your brain and how do you create stuff. So that's when that whole thing started. I coached personal chefs for about 3 years. And then just this last year and a half, I sold half my business and then I closed half.
Oh, okay.
So right before Corona, I was like, I better run on this now because this is going to be a big dip. But
oh wow, yeah. So you said that this was just before Corona hit, or we knew about Corona, or are you psychic, or what?
No, I wanted to sell it for a while, but I don't know if people know this, but selling a business is not the fantasy you think it is until you go to do it. You need 6 to 12 months to prepare and to get ready, and I was just not in the headspace for that. So I wound up selling part of it to someone who worked for me. So it was, what they call sort of an inside sale. So it was a little easier. It was still dramatic, but and then I could still operate like the name and certain things I got to keep, but then Corona happened. And I was like, let me just
Oh, okay.
coaching full time. I was already in a certification program and I was like, I'm going to run with it and think of my new niche and like what I'm going to do.
Fabulous. So you just made the decision that you needed to, like a lot of us have had to do in our businesses, and just go with where you saw your path going and just made the best decision for you, both business wise and financial wise. So kudos to you.
It was excruciating. I will tell you that because I know people, a lot of people come to those crossroads and there's so much pain where you are, but you don't know even what to do. And especially to walk away from something that still was doing extremely well. Like people thought I was nuts. I thought I was nuts. And you just have to make a choice and you move forward and let it unfold because you could do more than one thing in your life.
Absolutely. I love that message. Okay, so now you are full-time certified business and life coach with the Profit Lounge.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us more about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so I mainly do, I call it a bunch of things, but it's really life coaching for business owners.
Okay.
So they don't know or think they need a life coach. They think like the problem will come out as I'm stuck at the same income for 2 to 3 years, or the problem they think is I can't hire the right people or I can't keep the right staff. But we kind of go at it from like a whole life and your brain perspective because you're creating it and they don't know that yet. So I teach a lot of self-coaching tools that they could use on their own and just get into really having them be responsible for their results instead of a lot of hand holding and telling them what to do. We call it coaching to your action line or your A line, because then when you disappear, they're not going to do it. So
yeah, very, very, very true. You need to give them the skills because when you're not there holding their hand, right? Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, or when it doesn't work, whatever, method you are putting forward, then they blame you. So it's when I took responsibility for everything in my life through learning all these tools, the whole thing went crazy, amazing for me. And now I want to do that for others.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm sure you help a lot of people. So do you stay within one industry? Do you just work with small business in general, or do you have what's your niche with that?
So I call it my past life. I call myself a retired personal chef, which is hilarious, but I had an audience, a tribe from before. So I still get a lot of people being like, now I want to sell. Now I want to hire people. So I still help those type of people. And then I would say in the last year, it is service people that use their hands that want to have those 3 things I wanted from being a personal chef. Like they want to take it with them, have no ceiling on their income and use their hands. So I work with like a jewelry designer, an architect, one is a software developer, something like that is usually drawn to me, but I've also coached people on career change and fertility. I mean, the gamut. So.
Wow, that's really exciting. So I know we've talked a little bit before, and I know that you have a favorite list of topics, right? Like for example, I was looking over communicating. I like this one. Communicating without sounding like a bossy bitch. Or to stop overthinking and then stop comparing and procrastinating, which is very important. And ditching your to-do list. A lot of people need help with that. I mean, do you have a more popular one? Do you have a favorite one?
I like all of it. They're honestly applicable to almost everybody. But I don't know. Do you have one you want to touch on now, or you want me to choose?
Let's talk about overthinking.
Okay.
So tell me
Everyone.
how what you think about overthinking and how you help people stop doing it.
Perfect. So we all do it. Nobody's immune to this. It's not
Right.
like some people are perfect and some people just can't control their mind and get anything done. It's not like that. It's a skill you got to learn. And the first step is noticing what it's creating for you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tools that I teach that I learned at the life coach school is called the model. And it's basically a way of seeing what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, and then what it's creating. And then when you see what it's creating in your life, like the actual results, you can make a choice of whether you want to keep thinking that way. And I also teach in a couple different ways how your thoughts are optional. A lot of people don't know that. They think it's totally automatic, that you have no control over it, like it's this crazy demon running around, but it's actually not. We are choosing our thoughts, even though it's very fast and you don't think you are. So we have a couple of ways to slow that down and to even loosen it up a little, like the really hard beliefs that you think like, I'll never let go. That's totally true.
Right.
Then loosen it up enough that you could say, is this true? Is this serving me? Maybe it's even true, but do I want to keep believing that I'm stupid and I am unorganized? And then what is that really creating in your life and in your business? And then what's a ladder or a bridge thought that we could start moving toward what would serve you better?
Very important.
Does that make sense? Okay.
No, it does. No, it does. Helping people to come to a self-awareness that they're doing it
Mm-hmm.
is the first step. And
Yeah.
then giving them the tool, because we all do it. Even
Mm-hmm.
those who are masters at teaching other people and kind of keeping it at check, we all do it. I do it. I teach
Right.
it, but I do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to catch yourself. So
Right.
it's nice that you provide tools for people and coach them along on how to recognize it and get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just accept it. And just, I think that's also a big thing, just accepting it. You're going to do it, but here's how you deal with it.
Right.
And it's okay. A lot of people freak out. I don't want to do it anymore. You're going to do it.
Or they think it's not enough of a problem, like in business, if you're always concentrating and overthinking and dramatizing, and we call it like overindulging in like certain emotions,
Yeah, that's good.
like worry, confusion, overwhelm. If those are your main emotions that are running your life and your business, you're
Right.
not going to get more clients and make more money because you're over here doing this.
Right.
So we kind of show them how you have to realize you're responsible for it. Because if not,
Mm-hmm.
then you're waiting for the world or your circumstance, you're outside of you, to change and to do something before you can feel better.
Very true.
That don't work. So
That don't work. So true. It doesn't work. So let's work together to figure out what does work. Oh my gosh. So you have run, I mean, you are running, but you have run two amazingly successful businesses
mhm,
from the ground up, and very different. I mean, really just kind of decisions that you've made. You wanted something different in your life. So you took the action and you made the changes happen.
mhm.
That is remarkable. That's admirable. And that's just, I admire that in you. That's fantastic. But I'm sure that you've learned a lot along the way.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs, new business owners, hopefully, who they want to make sure that they're not just going down the right path, but not have to reinvent the wheel. So do you have any words of advice or wisdom and tips that you can share with listeners about basically just starting a business?
Right. One thing that I didn't know about in my first business that really clicked in the second
Uh-huh.
was not having this expectation that I was going to feel good all the time, that it would be easy.
Oh, that's great.
That, yeah, that discomfort is a part of the ride and necessary for you to do the next thing. Because when we always hear like, you should be happier, and
Mm,
why am I not happy? Then something's wrong with me. But if you go into it like, we're supposed to have all these emotions, they're going to come, they're going to go, whatever it is,
right.
like nothing's gone wrong because it's hard, or because you don't feel like doing it, or this isn't making money right now. None of those things mean nothing's gone wrong. And I didn't know that the first time around. So it was like pushing a boulder up a hill. And I'm like doing all these marketing activities that I didn't know would work, just because you're young and you're hungry and you're in the first year. And now doing 11 years and coming back to the first year again, I'm willing to do a million things that may or may not work, just for the discomfort of moving forward, like failing forward. You know how they say that?
Right. No, that's huge. I think anybody who's been in business more than a year or two, I think we've all learned that.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very powerful. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so you're doing the coaching now, which is, I do that too. So I like it, but it's just, you're doing amazing work. So thank you for contributing to our profession and helping so many people. But is there anything coming up new for you? Even if it's new programs or doing something differently, or big goals for you personally or your company that you would like to share?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm doing something called Your First Year in Business. It starts the next year.
Mhm.
And we basically go through the whole first year in 6 months. So it's coaching, and it is empowering you, like we talked about, to make your own decisions and to fail and get up and fail and get up and keep trying, and having that like support and accountability through that whole part, where I find that most people want to give up way too soon and way too early for no reason other than they just don't have the I don't want to say resilience, it's like risk tolerance, where like you just can't take it. It's been 4 months and I haven't made any money. So what? Like, you have to keep going and do now. What's next? And what are you really telling yourself? And why don't you believe this? So it's called My First Year in Business. It's a 6-month coaching that's starting next year. I have 3 people for that already. I'm looking for 3 more.
Is this a group program, or is this a one-on-one online? What is
start as one-on-one.
Okay.
And after the 6 months, it will go into a group. So you'll have support for the whole year.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. And I also coach men. And I think a lot of coaches don't want to coach men, or they're not, gearing stuff toward them. And it is such an serviced market. And once they can grasp on to how this helps their bottom line, you pitch it toward money and something they want. And I've seen men's lives go crazy, stuff they've never even dreamed of happening. My husband is one of them. All his friends are now into it. So I coach a lot of men. I would say 40% of my clients are men.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. They need accountability too, and responsibility. So.
Don't we all? Oh my gosh. Even coaches have coaches, because don't we all, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's fabulous. Well, that sounds exciting. I'm sure people are going to do well and be very successful in that program. I wish you well with it. So for all your services and your coaching and everything else that you offer, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'd say 2 places. First could be my website, which is, should I say it or write it too? It's just stephanieheller.com, all one word. And then online, I have a Facebook group called the Profit Lounge, where I'd say 90% of people are already business owners or thinking about it. And then we come in there and you could talk to each other. And I teach in there weekly. Everyone answers each other's questions. It's like a peer community. So
That's
if anyone wants to
fabulous.
pop over there.
Wonderful. And for anybody who's, driving or out walking their pets right now, those links will be in the show notes and in social media. So you will have no problem tracking down Stephanie and signing up for programs and learning more about her. Well, my gosh, Stephanie, this has been an amazing conversation, just like I expected. Sounds like you just led and you are living an amazing life and have so many things to offer to people. So I once again thank you for coming on the Pink Lifestyle Show. And I encourage everybody to go look her up, go to her website, join the Facebook group, and enjoy future success with her. And again, thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much. Bye.